From the other side of the Footlights, here is WHRO FM critic M.D. Ridge.
There is a constellation called Vela, whose name means the sails of a ship. It's visible only in the southern hemisphere. Australian guitarist Daniel Nistico and American flutist Marla Nistico make up Duo Vela, whose goal is to transport audiences to distant lands by playing music from diverse cultures, as they ably demonstrated at Virginia Wesleyan's Hofheimer Hall on April 10th. The program ran from composer Mario Tedesco Nuovo, Italian, to Philip Houghton, Australian, to Andrew York, American, Claude Debussy, French of course, and Astor Piazzolla, Argentinian. Just a sampling of what these two talented and imaginative musicians known as Duo Vela can create. The first work, Castelnuovo Tedesco's Sonatina Opus 205 for flute and guitar, was a late work written in 1965, nearly 30 years after he fled fascist Spain and wound up in Hollywood, where he became a successful film composer. Duo Vela brought out the stylistic excellence of both instruments, masterful expressive guitar and soaring flute. In the first movement, Allegro Grazioso, were lovely melodies for each instrument, with the flute fluttering up to final resolution. The Sicilian theme of the second movement was cheeky and cheerful at fast, challenging triple rhythms. In the third movement, classical techniques blended seamlessly with modern approaches. Daniel Nistico explained that Australian composer Philip Houghton believes that light and sound were the same stuff. In his Far From Dreaming, influenced by Aboriginal culture, cave painting had the sound of a didgeridoo as a guitar ground, while Marla's flute soared like a bird in the wind over Uluru. Wildflower evoked a lone flower in the vast outback desert, thoughtful with long flute phrases and an abrupt ending. Gecko, like its namesake, was bright, cheerful, darting quickly here and there with another effective ending. Andrew York, long a member of the famed LA Guitar Quartet, brings a variety of fused classical and jazz influences to his compositions. Using an altered guitar tuning, Daniel Nistico was the soloist for York's Sunburst, practically an exercise in highly rhythmic perpetual motion. The name of Syrinx, Debussy's exquisite short piece for solo flute, was inspired by the legend of the demigod Pan's pursuit of Syrinx, the nymph who flees him, turns herself into a reed, and hides in the marsh. Pan cuts reeds to make his pipes, killing his love. That pan-pipe connection may be why the first notes sound rather like the opening of Afternoon of a Faun. Marla Nistico's interpretation was absolutely lovely. The two rejoined for Astor Piazzolla's Histoire du Tango, which traces the evolution of the tango. The first movement, Bordello, was flirty, with guitar, percussion, and cheerful flute. The second movement was Café, bringing out the 1930s romantic dreaminess with nice harmonies at the end. Nightclub evoked the 60s. The tempo was faster, with impressive rubato that segued into quieter exploration, suddenly became more jazzy, then melancholy and bittersweet, then jazzy again with a strong guitar bass line. The final movement, Concert d'aujourd'hui, Concert for Now, was very modern. The tango rhythm was there, but more subtly expressed. Duo Vela travel all over the world. Marla has local roots, and the two met as graduate students at the renowned Eastman School of Music in Rochester, New York. They married in 2015 and now live in Asheville, North Carolina, when they're not on a world tour. The Virginia Wesleyan College Concert Series concludes April 25th at 7:30 p.m. with Red Priest, the absolutely amazing Baroque quartet. You really, really ought not miss them. Trust me. From the other side of the Footlights, I'm M.D. Ridge.